Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan with Her Courage to Plan. Thank you so much for watching this video. So today I'm going to be talking about how we started our debt-free journey. If you didn't watch my video of why we started our debt-free journey, I'll link that information above and you can check that out. You may have had your sick and tired moment. Our moment was not having enough money saved for our son's college tuition. That caused me to really look at my spending habits. I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I was tired of not having enough. Your tired may be something totally different. Maybe it's, tired of paying overdraft fees, tired of maxing out on your credit cards and, paying the minimum payment just to run it back up again. Whatever your sick and tired moment is, whatever brought you to the point of wanting to get out of debt, hey, we've all had that moment. So I would first say how we began our debt-free journey. For me, it had to be a cognitive shift, a mental shift. And like my grandmother would say, a well-made-up mind. You have to want this. It's not an easy journey, but once you start paying off debt, it is a worthwhile journey. After you've had that cognitive shift of just knowing living paycheck to paycheck, life is much more than that. We work too long and we work too hard to live this way. So something has to give. That was my mindset. And I had to start replacing those old habits and old mindset with a new mindset and better habits that would aid in meeting our debt-free goal. So during this mental shift, it should cause you to start researching on how to handle your money. Now, we heard of Dave Ramsey and his podcast and his book, The Total Money Makeover, and they are great. He has it where you can actually catch the replay on YouTube. So if you want to just type in Dave Ramsey, you should be able to review his podcast. But just listening to the callers all in about their struggles and how David patiently walked them through the baby steps is just awesome. That helped encourage us to start our journey. Next, we had to analyze our spending. So prior to July, my husband and I, we paid our bills separately. He took care of most of our household bills in one account. I focused on paying the lights, food, and paying down debt in another account. So I had to actually analyze my spending. How do you analyze your spending? You review your credit card statements, review your bank statements. I had to see, where was I spending my money at? Where was it actually going? What patterns was I picking up? And sure enough, I was shopping at the consignment shop, which I loved, shopping at Goodwill. I just love finding bargains and also eating out. That was where my money was going. And it was definitely a rude awakening when I actually saw it and really truly took heed to how much I was spending in these categories. It was just awful. Understanding and analyzing your spending, you still have to find out why you're overspending or spending most of your money in these certain categories. Only you can answer that. The next I would say is a budget. Do learn how to budget. And a budget is just basically you're telling your money where to go. You're making a plan for your money. Now you may have to start out doing a paycheck to paycheck budget, meaning allocating your income over your expenses each time you get paid, as well as a monthly budget. I had to figure out how to create a budget, how to budget my money. Dave Ramsey has free quick start budget forms on his website. I'll link that information below, but it is pretty simple to do. It helps guide you. If you've never done a budget before, it helps kind of jog your memory of the expenses that you pay each month. When I started budgeting, my budget didn't look like anybody's budget that I had researched. Just know that you want to make sure that you're current on all of your necessities and making sure that your four walls are taken care of. So your budget is your budget. This is a personal journey, and your budget has to fit your lifestyle. Your income is not going to be the same as someone else's. Your expenditures may not be the same. So don't get caught up on someone else's budget. Your budget is personal, and it definitely has to fit your lifestyle, and that is okay. After you've completed your budget, which means you basically allocated your income over your expenses, hopefully you've got some extra left over. And if you have extra left over, that's great, because you'll know how much you have that you can put towards debt. Now, if you do not have extra left over, or there's still a shortfall, then we've got to figure out a way to raise your income. By looking at our budget, it gave us a real snapshot of what we had going on each month. And we looked at what we could cut. Now, we cut unnecessary subscriptions. We also looked around our house. I consigned clothes, shoes. We had 2 old junk cars in the backyard. My husband sold those to the junkyard, and every little bit helps. You do what you need to do, but generally, if you look around your house, there's something that you can sell. You may have overabundance of different things that you may not have thought about. There may be things that you have not used in many years. So I would say look around your house to see what you can sell to boost your income. And that extra money, it helps if you can cut your groceries. Those things like that can really make an impact on your budget. And if there may be something that you have that you really can just, do without. You may say, okay, this month or for the next few months, I'm gonna kind of back down on my personal spending. So again, you'll be able to look and see what expenses that you are able to cut. And after you've done all the cutting that you can do, then you may have to raise your income by getting a second job, a part-time job. That's what we did. Hubby worked retail, he fixed computers, and I taught college courses part-time. I cleaned toilets. I worked as a janitor part-time at nights to help pay for college tuition and to help pay off debt. It may take you a while just to get used to budgeting your income. Before you start trying to do any type of baby steps or trying to pay off debt, make sure that you have the budgeting part down, because first starting out, it'll take a while. The average time is 3 months, but you may not be part of the average. I know I wasn't. It took me 5 months just to get used to budgeting, writing down my income, expenses for each paycheck. And I had to be committed and diligent in doing that. You need to make sure that you are caught up on your bills before trying to start any debt-free program. So after you've gotten used to your budget, then if you decide to do the Dave Ramsey baby steps, so step 1 in the baby step is to save $1,000. And that's a starter emergency fund. This is not your long-term emergency fund, but it's just to get you started. Because when you're trying to pay off debt, it's great to have that little cushion there, just so that if something does come up, then it shouldn't throw you too far off track of your debt-free journey. Now, there are some, if you feel like $1,000 is not enough and you want to save more, then it's totally up to you. But for the baby steps, it says $1,000 starter emergency fund. Now, it does kind of make sense if you have an emergency, say you lose your job, and your rent or your mortgage may be more than $1,000. So your starter emergency fund won't cover that. So you have to kind of analyze your situation and do what works for your lifestyle. So if you need more, then I would encourage you to save more. After you've saved your emergency fund, baby step 2 is to start paying off your debt. You're paying off all your debt except the house using the snowball method. And that's paying your debts from smallest balance to the largest balance. You're still making minimum payments, but you're actually starting out attacking that smallest debt with a vengeance. But you still continue to make minimum payments on all your other debt. You definitely don't want to stop paying one debt just to try to pay another debt, because that's not really a good game plan. Baby step 3 is to save 3 to 6 months of your expenditures, and this is for your fully funded emergency fund. Baby step 4 is to invest 15% of your household income. Baby step 5 is fund college for your children. Baby step 6, you're paying off the house. Baby step 7 is to build wealth. and give and live like no one else. You're debt free. We're in baby step 2. We are not gazelle intense because we are cash flowing our sons' college education while trying to pay off debt. This journey, it is a personal journey. You do what works best for you and your family. I'm a multimodal learner, which means I learn best by using a combination of learning strategies. I'm a visual learner. I like to write things down. I do read, I love research, and I learn best by doing, which is kinesthetic. So in my next video, I will show you exactly how we use the debt snowball to pay off over $12,000 in debt within 10 months, which is amazing, while cash flowing our son's college education. So that's all I have for this video, just giving you a little insight on how we started our journey. So I'd like to know, what have you done to increase your income? Did you get another job? Did you sell anything? Let me know down in the comment section. Until next time, see you later.